I stood in the biting wind off Lake Michigan that November morning, the gusts whipping through downtown Chicago like invisible knives slicing at my wool coat. At 55, I felt every chill deeper than before, but the bouquet of deep purple orchids in my arms kept me grounded. The same exotic blooms Victoria had clutched in her trembling hands 25 years ago as she walked down the aisle to marry me. Back then, she was 25, a bright-eyed analyst with dreams bigger than the skyline. I was 30, already a rising star in forensic accounting, but willing to build a life around her ambitions. Now, at 50, she was the iron-fisted CEO of Apex Innovations, the Midwest tech juggernaut, while I consulted remotely from our Oak Park home, handling the quiet chaos of raising our daughters, Lila and Nora. I traded boardrooms for ballet recitals and PDA meetings, and I never regretted it. She called me her rock, her safe harbor. I believed it. Every whispered promise in the dark. Pushing through the revolving doors, the lobby enveloped me in its sterile warmth. Black granite floors polished to a mirror sheen, digital tickers flashing stock surges, the faint aroma of overpriced espresso mingling with ambition. I headed straight for the security desk, expecting Marcus, the grizzled veteran who'd manned it for decades, the one who'd rib me during my occasional drop-offs. Flower duty again, Ethan, keeping the boss happy. But the man behind the desk was unfamiliar, mid-40s, clean-shaven, with a badge reading Rodriguez. All right, Victoria had mentioned offhand a few months back. Marcus finally retired, got a new guy, Rodriguez. Sharp, but no sense of humor. I nodded, not thinking much of it. After all, I only came by sporadically, dropping her off after car troubles, picking her up late from galas, or quick visits during holiday parties where I'd linger in the lobby while she wrapped up upstairs. Morning, I said, lifting the orchids with a warm smile. I'm Ethan Lang, here to surprise my wife, Victoria, the CEO, for our 25th anniversary. No need to buzz her. I'll wait in the cafe if that's okay. Rodriguez looked up from his monitor, his eyes scanning me. Casual blazer over jeans, no briefcase. Then his expression shifted to one of deep, uncomfortable pity. He tapped a few keys, glanced at the screen, and leaned forward slightly, voice dropping low as if sharing a secret burden. Sir, I've been on this desk 5 years now. I see Mr. Lang every single weekday morning at 8:10 sharp. He pulls up in the exec garage with her, brings her a black coffee with a splash of oat milk from the corner spot. They stand by that fountain over there, talk for 10 minutes, strategy, laughs, the works, then head up the private elevator together. Everyone on the floor knows him like family. The words hit like a slow-motion crash. My grip tightened on the orchids, stems creaking under my fingers. I'm sorry. You must have me confused. I'm Ethan Lang, 25 years married. We have 2 daughters, Lila, 22, and Nora, 19. Rodriguez shifted in his chair, his broad shoulders hunching awkwardly, eyes darting away before meeting mine again with that same pitying gaze. I'm truly sorry, sir, but Daniel Voss, he's the one they call Mr. Lang around here, walks in like he owns the place. Arm around her waist in the elevator, sometimes when the lobby's quiet. Kisses her cheek like it's routine. The C-suite jokes about it, but not in a mean way. If you want, I can call up and... No, I whispered, my voice sounding distant, like it belonged to someone else. The world tilted, colors sharpening unnaturally. I must have a days mixed up. Actually, I'm her brother-in-law, just dropping these off for the surprise. The lie tumbled out, buying me time. Rodriguez nodded hesitantly, buzzing me through the turnstile. Lobby's open to visitors till 10. Take care, sir. I didn't bolt for the exit. Instead, I moved like a shadow, positioning myself behind a cluster of oversized palms near the cafe, close enough to see, but hidden in the foliage. My heart hammered against my ribs, each beat echoing the question. How? Why? Daniel Voss, Victoria's COO for a decade, the man who'd been to our home for barbecues, who'd played catch with Nora in the backyard, who'd toasted our 20th anniversary with a speech about true partnership. I trusted him, liked him. He sat at the corner table by the window, scrolling his tablet with casual ease, legs crossed in his tailored charcoal suit. Beside him, a takeaway cup, lid smeared with a faint, perfect imprint of midnight rose. Victoria's signature lipstick, the one she reapplied religiously before meetings. Minutes dragged like hours. Then the executive elevator chimed softly. Victoria stepped out, a vision of corporate power. Charcoal blazer hugging her frame, cream silk blouse tucked neatly, hair in an elegant low knot that framed her sharp features. She scanned the lobby briefly, her posture all business, until she spotted Daniel. Then, everything changed. Her shoulders relaxed, her lips curved into a soft, intimate glow I hadn't seen directed at me in years. The professional mask shattered, replaced by something raw and affectionate. She crossed the space with purposeful strides, heels clicking on granite. Daniel rose smoothly, sliding one hand to the small of her back, lingering just a second too long on her hip, fingers pressing with familiar possession. He leaned in, pressing a slow, tender kiss to her temple, his other hand brushing a stray hair from her face. "Morning briefing drag?" he murmured, voice low and warm, laced with that easy charm. "The board's suffocating me today," she replied, leaning into him briefly, her hand resting on his forearm, a touch that spoke volumes of shared secrets. "You're the only thing keeping me sane, Danny. Let's grab 5 minutes in the garage before the investor call. Need to debrief." They turned toward the private executive elevators, hip to hip, her laughter soft as he whispered something in her ear. I watched, frozen, as the doors slid shut behind them. The orchids slipped from my numb hands, petals scattering across the floor like shattered amethysts. I left without a word, the wind outside hitting me harder than before. The drive home was a blur, traffic lights bleeding red, horns distant echoes. Our Oak Park house loomed like a stranger, the colonial we'd renovated together, where we'd raise the girls, hosted Thanksgivings. I bypassed the kitchen, ignoring the family photos lining the hall. Our wedding day smiles, Lila's first steps, Nora's high school graduation with Victoria beaming proudly. Down to the basement office, the cave, as Victoria teasingly called it, avoiding it because your boring spreadsheets give me headaches. For the next 12 hours, I didn't eat, didn't sleep. I became a machine, reactivating old forensic software, bypassing encryptions on our joint accounts, pulling threads that unraveled everything. The anomalies surfaced like rot in a foundation, subtle at first. $6,000 consulting retainers to phantom vendors. Then bolder, $25,000 executive retreats with no matching itineraries or receipts. Then the hammer blow, $4.1 million from my mother's inheritance, left in trust for the girls' futures. Lila's law school, Nora's grad studies, down payments on homes, security against life storms. Diverted in meticulous tranches over 3 years to Vosslang Holdings LLC. Vosslang, his name fused with ours, like a twisted marriage. A shell company co-signed by Daniel, funds ballooning in Cayman's accounts. It wasn't just an affair. It was a calculated heist. Vosslang Holdings had been snapping up Apex shares off-market, skirting SEC disclosures, amassing enough for a stealth board coup. Victoria planned to purge dissenters, install Daniel as permanent COO, then ascend to chairman, leaving her untouchable, him her king. My mother's money, their war chest. Emails recovered from deleted backups scorched me. Ethan's oblivious, too busy playing house dad to notice. Once the merger's sealed, I'll file for divorce, leaving the Oak Park mortgage and his boring life. Rage simmered, cold and patient. For 6 months, I lived the lie. Mornings, brewing her coffee, kissing her goodbye as she dashed out. "Have a great day, love," I'd say, voice steady. Evenings, rubbing her feet as she vented about board politics, her phone buzzing with Daniel's texts under the duvet. "Daniel's been a lifesaver," she'd sigh, leaning into me. I'd nod, while rising. Weekends, family dinners where I'd watch her hug the girls, tell them she loved them, all while her scheme drained their futures. The girls sensed the shadows first. Lila, 22 and whip-smart, home for winter break, corner me in the kitchen while flipping pancakes. "Dad, Mom's been off. She's always at the office or on Milwaukee trips. And she comes home smelling like Daniel's cologne, that woody scent he wears. Is everything okay?" Her eyes searched mine, worry etching lines on her young face. I hugged her, whispered, "Just work stress, kiddo. It'll pass." Nora, 19 and empathetic to a fault, found a Peninsula Hotel key card in Victoria's coat pocket during laundry duty over spring break. She burst into my office, tears streaming, clutching it like evidence. "Dad," Mom said she was in Milwaukee for a conference those dates. I Googled. There was no conference. "And this hotel? It's downtown, 5 minutes from Apex. What's going on?" Her voice broke, shoulders shaking. I pulled her close, heart aching. "I know, sweetie. I'm handling it. Trust me. Stay quiet for now. We'll get through this." They did, but it tore at them. Lila grew quieter, more vigilant. Nora withdrew, journaling her confusion. I protected them from the full poison, but the strain showed in family movie nights turned tense, in hugs that lingered longer. Meanwhile, I built a trap, anonymously tipping Nexus Global, Apex's rival, with redacted financials exposing the shell company's leverage. Nexus pounced, undercutting deals, poaching clients, eroding Apex's stock. I traced every wire, amassed a dossier. Emails, receipts, hidden photos from their offsites. I bribed an AV tech at Apex for access, and I moved the stolen millions back into an irrevocable trust for the girls. Untouchable. The climax, Apex's 20th Anniversary Gala at the Chicago Cultural Center, under the world's largest Tiffany stained glass dome, iridescent blues and golds casting ethereal light. 500 guests, investors, senators, tech moguls. Victoria had hyped it for weeks. "This is our crowning night, unveiling the new leadership. Daniel is COO. You'll be in the back with the girls, my quiet support." 2 hours before, in our living room, I sat Lila and Nora down. They were stunning in their gowns. Lila in emerald silk, Nora in soft lavender. Innocent beauty masking their turmoil. "Girls," I said, voice heavy but firm, "tonight will change everything. Something terrible is about to happen. I've protected you as long as I could, but you need to see the truth. Your mother, she's betrayed us. All of us." I laid out the basics. The affair, the theft, the coup. Lila's face hardened, fists clenching. Nora dissolved into sobs, burying her head in my shoulder. "Why, Dad? How could she?" Nora whispered. "We loved her." Lila spat. "She stole from us? From Grandma's money." Their pain fueled my resolve. "Stay by me," I said. "Be strong. I've taken care of everything." We arrived fashionably late. Victoria was on stage, radiant in midnight blue velvet. $200,000 diamonds sparkling, bought with the inheritance. Daniel lurked offstage, preening in his tux. The girls gripped my hands like lifelines. And now, Victoria beamed, microphone amplifying her charisma, a tribute to Apex's journey of loyalty and partnership. She signaled the AV booth. The 40-foot screen flickered. Not growth charts. Security footage. That November morning. High def. Daniel's hand on her hip. The lingering kiss. Whispers. Looped thrice. The ballroom's chatter died. A vacuum of shock. Victoria froze. Smile cracking in a horror. Technical glitch, cut it. But I'd locked the system. Next. Vosslang ledgers in glaring red. Theft of inheritance. $4.10 million. Emails ballooned. Ethan's a fool. Too busy being a housewife. Divorce him post-merger. Leaving the mortgage. Gasps rippled. Lila's hand flew to her mouth. A muffled sob. Nora clutched me, whispering, "Dad, that's us she's talking about." Their faces, pure devastation, mirrored the hall's outrage. "Shut it down," Daniel bellowed, rushing the stage. Spotlight swung to us, my bribe paying off. I stood, orchid in hand. "The audit's complete, Victoria." Heavy oak doors banged open. 12 agents and FBI and SEC windbreakers stormed the aisle. Victoria Lang, under arrest for securities fraud, embezzlement, grand larceny. She scanned the crowd, eyes landing on the girls. Lila's gaze was steel loathing. Nora's shattered heartbreak. Victoria crumpled, handcuffs clicking, her dress trailing as agents led her out. She screamed my name. I held the girls, unmoving. Daniel tried to flee, tripped over a chair, tux ripping, face twisted in panic. Caught. We left amid chaos. Shouts, flashes, empires fall. The revenge echoed slowly. Divorce dragged 6 months. Evidence ironclad. Girls' testimonies on emotional toll sealing it. Victoria got 7 years federal time. Daniel turned state's evidence, slashing his sentence. Proving his love was greed. I negotiated with Apex's board. Evidence for the coups and in exchange for her shares at discount. Proceeds to our settlement. Today, Park's quiet. Lila's a fierce financial lawyer, channeling rage into advocacy. Nora's a therapist, healing betrayal's wounds. They bear scars, trust issues, guarded hearts, but we're tighter. Sunday dinners, laughter over pasta, honest talks. Victoria's name rarely surfaces. When it does, we share survivor glances. The betrayal, the slow rot of lies, the girl's tears, nearly broke us. But truth rebuilt us, unbreakable. If you believe that the truth is a debt that always gets paid, comment truth below. This was a story of a man who was pushed too far and a mother who forgot who she was. Comment and drop where you are watching from. I want to see which corner of the world is hearing this story today.